And we are rolling.
You just cough in the beginning?
No.
This is the first time we're recording in person. You just cough.
Second time.
Second time we're.
Second time.
Second time?
Yeah, we recorded with Matt Pfeiffer.
Oh, I meant for this podcast.
He was on this podcast.
Did we record in person for? Oh, we
Matt
did.
was
That was wild. Wow, that was wild. I didn't even remember. It was so crazy. My memory couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
My mind, my mind palace doesn't have it.
We are off to a great
so
start.
much better being in person because I get to see you just
Hurt myself.
destroy yourself.
This happens every episode.
Oh my God.
I bang my knee a lot in my little recording
Well,
closet.
oh, you do? You
Yes.
just
You don't ever see me just
banging
banging
yourself?
make a face. I'm just like,
stubbing your toe.
Kevin, where are you?
I'm in Denver.
How do you like it?
I'm in Denver.
You moved to Denver.
No, I
According to
did not move to Denver.
according to your Instagram
Oh my
story.
God, no, dude! I had so many people message me because it's the wake up, move, breathe. So I just
Yeah.
put move. I should have put move in quotes. I didn't do it.
Nope.
And then everybody's like, "You moved to Denver?
Yeah.
No, you didn't fucking tell me." Like people were mad at me yesterday. Like, dude, I seriously, I was getting like, you know, when people are like playing, but they're not playing, but
Yeah.
they're like, I can't believe, blah, 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 you know, like, ha, 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 and it's like, but you know they're mad.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I mean, could you imagine if you just left everybody in New York without telling them?
they would be
Just, like,
so mad.
randomly on a Friday, you just moved to Denver.
I feel like if you do that, people are like, what happened? Something happened that we don't know about. There's some information we don't have. All right, so let's rip this off. Rip it off. Let's do this the right way. First off, little gratitude. Props to Jesse and Justine for crushing it with the blonde espresso, right? Blonde latte, blondie, the blondie, and the filthy blondie.
The filthy blonde.
A filthy blonde.
The disgusting hippie, or whatever it was called.
The dag nasty. No. Dirty hippie is when you do soy milk chai. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Dude, so you brought me over to Bardo's.
I did.
And it's your coffee shop, and it's absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
I am a stickler. I mean, you saw me. I was inspecting the La Marzocco, right?
Oh, yeah.
I was being that guy in the coffee.
Checking out your gear.
Here's where I'm not that
Check
guy,
out your
though.
rig.
Here's where I'm not that guy. It stops at me just commenting, right? Like, I don't give, like, I'm not like, oh, well, you know, I went to this shop and they have whatever. No, I'm just checking it out. I pay a couple compliments, I leave, right? I don't sit around and go like, well, I went to this shop and I went to this shop. No. I don't like that guy.
So
Nobody
not full
likes that
Chad.
guy.
Not
full Chad. No.
Not full Chad. More like a Luke.
Kind of more like a Luke, like a Luke Evans, like a lukewarm Evans, like a Luke,
Lukewarm.
absolutely.
Evans.
Okay, and then I also want to mention Chicago Midway. What the fuck?
Oh,
like,
you love that airport.
no, I hate that airport.
Dunkin' Donut is Kevin's
sure-
favorite coffee place.
I'm almost positive if I look it up now, there's another terminal. So I'm traveling out here, right? Okay. So first off.
First off.
Is this even, we're just starting the podcast, or can we do a cold open? I'm going to have to put music in when I get home.
This is
So
a
lukewarm Evans here in the studio.
Yeah.
We're opening it up. I feel like Lukewarm Evans would be an awesome actor, actually. I feel like Lukewarm Evans would be in every Lifetime movie. I feel like
Discount version.
Dude, he would be in every Lifetime. Like, just like it would be like, and the Christmas season is here. You know, like the ching ching.
Starring
ching,
Lukewarm
ching.
Evans.
Lukewarm Evans.
Jessica Holiday.
He's gonna learn the meaning. Yeah, Jessica Holiday Day and Lukewarm Evans. They're gonna learn the meaning of Christmas over and over and over again this
Here in
holiday
Swamptown,
season.
Wisconsin.
Swamptown. She was a big city girl, and she moved to.
He ran a swamp convention.
He ran the swamp convention in Swamptown. Lukewarm Evans. And then they cut to like a quote. She's like, "I've never felt the spirit of Christmas before." And then he's like, "Well, have you ever been to the swamp convention
make you soggy
during the
with
light
it."
Sarah?" Yeah. Oh my God. This holiday season, Lukewarm Evans and Jessica Holiday Day star in
A soggy Christmas.
Soggy Christmas. Do.
That's a great. We should write that.
We should write Soggy Christmas. That would be hilarious. I also, before I play this theme music, I want to compliment, I'm mentioning to myself, before you
self.
play this, future self, I do want to mention this room is awesome. Like your little game room in here, it's cool, man.
D&D room.
Yeah, with like the library wallpaper and stuff. This is pretty
Ripped it on the
dope.
Clock.
Dude, you guys have definitely like outfitted this room for fantasy roleplay. Yeah.
awesome.
Or just TTRPG in general.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. What does TTRPG stand for?
Tabletop role playing game.
No, it stands for totally
Tubular.
tubular.
Radical game playing.
Yeah.
Radical game playing.
Duh. No, it's RPG. So it'd be a totally tubular radical play game.
Play game. Tubular play
Sucks.
game.
All right, fucking theme music.
Wrong one. Where's your eagle screeches?
We're just getting. Welcome to the Unpop Podcast.
These are our own sound effects.
Oh my god. All right. Okay. I don't even know how to do this in person when we're like this.
Yeah, no, it's weird, right?
This is great though. It's nice. It's like a. It's like a face-off. It's like, all right, who can be the better co-host?
I'll be John Travolta.
You be John Travolta? All right, cool. I'll be Jonathan Rhys Davies, but only from With Paris with Love. It's Jonathan Rhys Davies or Jonathan Rhys Meyers.
Right, but he's not in the movie Face Off.
No.
That's John Travolta.
Do I have to be Nicolas Cage? Oh, we're facing off.
I'll be Jason Statham.
Wait, if I'm Nicolas Cage, that means I look like John Travolta, and if you're John Travolta, that means you look like Nicolas Cage. So we tag it, and then we have each other's voices, right?
Yeah.
And then at the end, there's doves.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of doves. Remember the doves?
I do remember.
There's so many doves. Why all the doves?
Here's the other option.
Is that a Wong Kar-wai film?
That is... No, it's...
John Woo?
Isn't it John Woo?
It's John Woo. It's got to be John Woo.
Pretty sure. Or did John Woo do Jet Li's The One with Jason Statham?
Siri, who directed Face Off?
I'm pretty sure it was John Woo.
Hold on.
Live update.
John Woo.
Okay.
We got it.
Yeah.
I thought it was Wong Kar-wai for a second. I don't know why, but it's John Woo.
Yeah.
But dude, okay. Can I tell you something? Here's a really funny thing.
Another story.
Yeah. Let's start the podcast first. Welcome back to the Unpop Podcast. My name is
Odie,
Kevin. What?
Sorry, I sneezed.
You start. You start. Do you sneeze your name? You were just sneezing when you. That must be the most ridiculous thing ever. You're just in public. You're like, Odie Matthews. People are like, what did you say to me? I'm sorry. You're going to need to step off of this Amtrak now. I don't know why you're on Amtrak.
I love Amtrak.
I'm good. Stop sneezing on it and saying your name.
I'll do the opening.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, I'll do it. Welcome back to another
Kevin Miner. Oh, sorry.
Bless
Wow.
you.
Oh, geez.
Bless you. I am your host, Kevin Miner.
No, you're not.
With me is our Captain, Odie, the Chef Miner, with the Unpop Podcast. Welcome back, everyone. Happy to be here. Kevin's happy to be here. He's giving me a thumbs up right now.
Thumbs up. All the thumbs. All right. Welcome back to the Unpop Podcast. My name is Kevin Miner. El Capitan Todo es siempre he, him. With me as always is
Odie Matthews, the chef, cooking up the delicious content. They, them.
Yes. You're crushing it.
Yeah.
Good job.
I'm matching your energy.
I've been doing. No, you're not. No, you're not. Okay. So I've been doing a funny thing. You know how you ask like Siri to do different things?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like you'll ask Siri questions and stuff.
You're British, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I told Adriana she's my new Siri, and I've been calling her up and randomly asking her questions, like she's Siri, and I was like, oh my, hilariously, she's just like she just picks up, and I just go, hey Adriana. I just, when I say it that way, she knows that I'm just gonna rip into like, hey Adriana, which hot sauce is ranked number 1 in the U.S.? Like just stupid questions, like the stupid shit you would think about.
Right.
Yeah, and then she's like, I hate you, because that's how I show my love to people. I riff with them in real time, in real life.
AKA lie.
AKA, well, that, okay. Improv is not lying.
Well, the way you described it.
No. I just improvised and then forgot to reveal at the end. Listen, here's how this happened. I told Kieran that a friend of ours got run over by a train. Now, Kieran's reaction to that was so funny because you know how he reacts. Kieran was like, you know, and I was like, oh, this is hilarious. I'll tell him later, right? You know, but then I just forgot to tell him later. Yeah,
now it's later.
Yeah, and so then yesterday I'm reminiscing over our friend who actually got run over by a beer truck, and he's like, wait, you said he got run over by a train, and I was like, Sorry. I forgot to tell you that it wasn't a train. But first off,
But okay.
why would you believe that somebody would get run over by a
And
train?
live. But just their leg got taken off?
Oh my God.
So like just one leg was on the track?
I think that's some Looney Tunes shit right there. You know, like yeah. But anyway, so he did get run over by a beer truck, and then Kieran decided that me saying, I was like, oh dude, I was just improvising and having fun, being silly, which we all do. Our whole friend group does it. I just forgot to end the silliness on that one. I didn't put the cap back on.
It's been a couple years.
Yeah. So it's just been a couple years of him thinking someone got run over by a train and survived. Oh my God.
Yeah.
But no, this has been great, dude. Okay, so let's just. We don't even really have like a thing that we've watched or done this week because this week has been all travel. Like, for me, yeah. But the traveling was hilarious, and I figured we could just riff on that because straight up. Like, first off, I get on my first Southwest flight in Albany, like 1 p.m. on Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday. Wednesday, maybe. And, dude, Southwest, I swear to God, they're hiring gay comedians. To be the people who, like, they're airline attendants?
A flight attendant.
They're flight attendants, I swear to God, are gay comedians. Like, every flight attendant I had on the way out here on Southwest was like, welcome to Southwest. Thanks for getting on the plane today. We're going to not Puerto Rico. Like, just but they were riffing so good. They're like, if you get sick of my jokes, there are emergency exits located in the middle and the back of the plane. Like, I was like, dude, this guy's good. He's got a routine. Like,
dude, that should be
it was solid.
That's what every airline should do.
Dude,
just hire comedians to be your flight attendant.
Dude, we were getting on the next plane, and like the flight attendant, he's like, all right, guys, this should be a 3 hour and something. And I'm not doing the lisp to make fun of gay people. This is just what they sounded like. He's like, all right, guys, this flight's only going to be about 3 hours. It shouldn't take us 3 hours to board the plane. Like, I was like, you guys are fucking awesome. I loved it, man. Dude, I was eating it up the whole way out. I was like, oh yeah. And then, that really, like, that helped with the fact that Chicago Midway, I'm sure they have another terminal that has a Starbucks, but listen, Dunkin' Donuts coffee, I'm from the Northeast, and I'm here to tell you, it's shit. Best. Oh. It's shit. Oh. No, it's shit. It's tepid water. It's not good.
Would disagree.
Ben Affleck gets paid to disagree with that.
And so would Matt Damon.
Here's how you know that I'm telling the truth. No one's paying me to say it. No one's
You sure?
Yes, I'm positive. Bardos is paying me to say it. No, Bardos, I owe Bardos money for saying this.
I don't like Dunkin' or Starbucks. Personally,
Starbucks is my travel coffee. It's a safe bet, right? Like, I told you already. Yeah. If there are other options, I will go for the other things, right? Of
course. Because that's some smart thing to do.
Yeah. So I hit Chicago Midway, and I'm like, all right, there's got to be something for coffee here. And there was not. Like, it was Dunkin' Donuts or diner coffee, basically, in the terminal I was in.
Let's find out.
You look it up.
Let's find out.
And then I'll keep describing my coffee woes, my first world problems. I know that there's, like, struggle and strife all around the globe, but, I have coffee problems. So I'm looking around. There's Dunkin' Donuts. There's, like, nothing else. And not only that, there's, like, 3 Dunkin' Donuts in the terminal.
Okay, here we go. Look at
what
here. We got
Starbucks?
Big Shoulders Coffee, Concourse A.
What the fuck is Big Shoulders?
It's for Big Shoulders. Dunkin' Donuts right here, Concourse B.
Yep.
Dunkin' again, Central Market.
Okay.
Couple Dunkins. Einstein Bros Bagels, they have coffee.
They did not have coffee.
What?
Out. No, I don't know what was going on there.
Bistro.
Okay. No, see, that's diner coffee.
Yeah, that's better than Starbucks.
I don't know. It's not.
It's
no, diner coffee is worse than Starbucks.
Riley's daughter.
Nope.
Who let her loose?
No, wow, not open.
White Sox Bar and Grill. Wow, that's the worst team in the league. That's hilarious.
The White Sox Bar and Grill.
Wow, there's like nothing.
They're like, sorry, we're a little. Yeah, I told you. It was mostly Dunkin' Donuts, and there were multiple Dunkin' Donuts kiosks. And then, like, and I was just like, it was just like being in Louisville and trying to find healthy food. I was just like, where the fuck is the good coffee? I got so mad.
Just on Kentucky, we got
I was so mad.
We're not welcome in Chicago.
Chicago Midway.
We're not welcome in Chicago now.
Not Midway. I'm fine in Chicago, but Midway, fuck them. No, seriously. Well, and then I hit Phoenix, and Phoenix, there finally was a Starbucks, and I told you about it. It had the Cholo emo kid, like the kid who's Hector, who I've decided his name's Hector, and he was like, he was like a little bit depressed, I say. And like, he straight up, like, I got up in line, and he's got like the emo bangs over, right? He's got the whole look going. And then I got up, and like, but like he had like baggy clothes on and then like a chain and stuff, but then like it was a very confusing getup. I was like, and I'm not like criticizing. I was just like, all right, you got two styles, right? And you know me, I've got a varying wardrobe. I'm rocking a Jaws.
Target.
I shop at Target and I buy everything. I dress up with a fucking baseball jersey on for no reason.
It was blank.
Yeah, it was blank baseball jersey.
And you still got complimented.
I did. But no, so this dude's he's rocking like a half cholo, half emo look. And like I got up and I swear to God, the voice and everything, it just confirmed it. He was like, what can I get you, man? I was like, oh damn. But like he said it through the bangs, you know? I was just like, just tonight we'll dashboard, como estas? Like just fucking I was like, okay, this is fun. I love traveling. Straight up. Dude, totally. Everything's an adventure when I'm traveling.
Yes.
Yeah. And not only that, I sat next to Ginger and Howard on the way from Albany to Midway. I got to meet them. I was like, your names combined sound like a beverage.
Yeah. That's Ginger Howard.
I was like, we need to make this happen.
Or dressing.
I'm having fun with people too. Like, and I also like, here's the other, like, I'm sure you've been on a plane with someone who will talk to you and you're like not talking.
Headphones in.
And then they talk to you anyway.
Yeah.
Ginger and Howard and I had a nice conversation. It lasted about 20 minutes and then we hit cruising altitude and all of us knew to stop.
Mm-hmm.
It was great.
That's the rule.
It was perfect. We were like, all right. And now we're going to zone out.
Yep.
We were watching movies, doing things. It was fine. Next flight, nobody's talking in my row. I'm fine with that too. I'm just zoning out. I'm having a good time, right? I'm listening to books, whatever it was. Like, I forget what I was listening to, but I listened to a bunch of stuff. And then Phoenix to Boise. That was an interesting flight. There are interesting people going from Phoenix to Boise. Yeah. I was like, especially at like 8 o'clock at night. That was a very weird flight on a Wednesday evening.
Yeah. Who's going from Phoenix to Boise?
Weird people.
And what's there to do in Boise?
So I did not spend any time in Boise yet.
Yeah.
Boise. Whatever. It's not Boise. They do the thing. The people already told me before I even got out there, they were like, it's not Boise, it's Boise. So I'm just going to say it that way, just so I don't get corrected, right?
Well, we're not welcome there.
They're like, there's no Z. Well, so far, there's nothing to do. Like, we're just chilling in Caldwell. We went to Lake Lowell on 4th of July and hung out, and that was cool. A lot of people paddleboarding, people having barbecues and stuff. We're having a good time, like chatting with people, some like unruly kids running around, having a great time. No, it was awesome. And then we went to the park with the dogs and hung out in Caldwell, and it was really fucking hot, right? Yeah. And like that was my first day there, but it's not like we got crazy sleep on Wednesday, so like that was a long day on a lack of sleep, and then a lack of sleep on Thursday, and we got out here on Friday morning. Oh my god, yeah. And that was an early flight, man.
I bet you guys up at like 9:30.
Yeah. But that was a good time. Honestly, like we got up early, we were able to get everything done and like get to the airport. Yeah. Here's a funny thing about it. So Adriana has the TSA pre-check. Do you have pre-check?
Oh, I used to. Not anymore.
Okay.
I used to.
So she has pre-check, and I see her going up through the easy pre-check line, right? And I'm in security line. Of course. Security line's pretty big.
Yeah.
All right. I'm a peasant. I don't want to be a peasant, though. I want to be bougie. And there's a lady. She's like, I can sign you up for TSA pre-check. And I'm like, oh, hell yeah.
TSA pre-check
because then I can go through the TSA pre-check line.
Background check for pre-check.
Hold on.
I'm already like, there's red flags.
So she signs. No, so like she works for whatever. She works for like the airport or something. Like, but she's signing people up. They had like a whole thing. So I have TSA pre-check now. But here's what happens.
Did you pay?
Okay. So she took me to the side. I don't care. I'll pay $80, 5 years. Whatever.
Yeah, I was say it's not very much, but
so she's like, I'll sign you up for TSA pre-check. I'm like, all right, cool. Let's do the thing. I think her name was Barbara. So like, Barbara's a good name.
That's my mom's name.
Oh, well, there's other people named Barbara.
No, there's not.
Anyway, she was nice. Give Barbara some credit.
Right. Shout out Barb and
shout out Barb.
Barbara.
Oh, she was an Idahoan too. She was very proud of Boise.
Oh,
yeah. But no, so she's signing me up for TSA pre-check, and I see Adriana. She's going through, right? I'm like, all right, cool. So I'll get through this, and I'll meet her on the other side. I'll be like, guess who's got TSA pre-check now, right? Because that's how the world usually works for me, right? It's like by some stroke of luck, yeah. It's not privilege. It's it might be, but like
it might be. I don't know.
She's signing me up for TSA pre-check, and I swear to God, the machine she's using is going so fucking slow. I see the people who I was just behind in the security line getting up to security, and I'm like, oh, this was the wrong choice this morning, but I've committed.
Well,
I've committed.
Going back will be easier.
So so then she runs the background check. We finally get everything done. Her manager comes over. I'm having a great time. We're shooting the shit. I got my picture taken. It's great. You know, lady called. She called me handsome. I'm like, I'll take it. Right. This is it. I made this experience better. But then she goes, all right, now I'll bring you to the front of this line. She brings me to the front of the fucking security line that I was in because the TSA pre-check has to run the background check over the next 48 hours. So then I just go back into security and I'm just like, I was like, and I really wanted to turn to her and be like, really? You sure you gotta? Because it's right there. You just signed me up for it. You've seen my ID. We ran. Like, we did all.
10 feet
I've given you
way.
all my information willingly. But yeah, so then I've got to go through regular security. But then we made it to the flight. Flight got here. And then yesterday was banger, man.
Yeah.
We had such a good time.
Yeah, it's great out
It was absolutely phenomenal. You picked us up at the airport at like what?
9:30ish?
9:30ish. Oh my God. Dude, okay. Here's one thing I'm glad about at your airport here in Denver. The cops actually make people move from the pickup area when they're there too long. I was like, oh, hell yeah.
That's why
Good.
I've timed it now where if you don't have if you have a checked bag and you're at Denver, you call the person picking you up as soon as you get your checked bag.
Yeah.
Because then it's about like a 2-minute wait by the time they come around.
Yeah.
If you don't have a checked bag, as soon as you get on the tram, you call the person. That's the 2 ways to do it.
Because that way you're not there for that long.
Yep. Because I never do a checked bag, so I kind of
Yeah, you
learned
can
how
tell.
to navigate the lizard people airport.
Oh my God.
Did you see the construction signs?
No.
Okay, so it's a Denver
Okay, hit me with
airport.
this. Hit me with
Okay,
yeah.
so
you were talking about this yesterday. This is highly
here we
intriguing.
go. A Denver conspiracy theorist.
Hit me with this.
Okay, so
I'm learning about Denver.
Denver airport is like the most conspiracy theory filled airport, and we've turned into a stereotypical podcast right now. We're talking about conspiracy theories.
Yeah, but come on, hit me with this. I deserve to learn about your city.
Yeah, well, you know, when you go back, you'll see it. So when the Denver airport was constructed, the design was based off a pinwheel, because if you have a pinwheel, and I think they go like east to west, so like as you're going around, you have multiple
They can go in
runways,
every direction.
and they don't have to worry about overlapping. It's supposed to like equal like less time on the tarmac and stuff like that. Well, if you Google image search it, it looks like a swastika.
Yeah.
So that right there like fueled all of the theories already.
Oh.
But additionally, there's a lot of tunnels underneath the airport, because weirdly enough, airports have tunnels underground, which is something that every airport has. But for some reason, the Denver airport, like, that's where UFOs are. That's where the Illuminati meets. That's where JFK used to take people through the tunnels, just like he used to take Marilyn Monroe through the tunnels of the White House. Like, and then there's a plaque. It gets better. There's also a plaque at the Denver airport. I think it's Lockheed Martin. That's what I told you yesterday.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but it's like a aerospace engineer organization that donated like way more money than anybody ever would need to donate to an airport.
Wow.
And like people are like, well, where'd all that money go? Because the airport's under construction now.
Yeah.
But this was like back in like the 70s. And then additionally, there's Blucifer, who is the giant, the giant blue.
What a
horse
fucking
statue.
name.
So it's based off the Broncos mascot. Go
Blucifer.
figure. But the guy that made Blucifer, it was originally inside the airport.
Yeah.
And it fell on him.
Oh,
and killed him when he was done with it. And then they moved it to the outside of the airport. You'll see it when I take you back.
Oh,
but
God.
people believe that like lizard people live in the tunnels under the airport. So there's construction signs, and it's lizard people in construction outfits being like, pardon our noise. And so like the Denver airport's like leaning into it.
Yeah.
It's very funny.
I like how they're leaning into it. I think that's fun. I think people just get too high out here, man.
Yeah, that's what it is.
They just do.
Well, we talked about that. Like, I used to fly out of that airport once a week, if not more sometimes. And the amount of people I would sit next to that smelled just like weed, which I'm not judging. Hey, I probably smelled like weed too. But it's just so funny because there are people that are like, yeah, I came here to visit, and now I'm gone. You know, they just smell like weed. Like, they're not from Colorado.
People just get too high. Like there was one dude, he had like a pink goatee. He was such a stereotype. He looked like an aging deadhead or like punk, you know, like he had like long pink hair, partly shaved sides, pink goatee. He got up and was looking for his luggage in front of us on the plane. And I swear to God, he picked up a bag, looked all around it, like full 360, examining the entire thing, and then went, that's not mine. And then put it back up. And I was like, dude, what? It took you that long to recognize that this bag wasn't yours? The other two things, and then we got up, and like the other two things in the compartment are suitcases. Like,
Totally different.
Yeah, totally different looking. I was like, dude, this guy, good luck to that guy. He is messing up.
Playing on hard mode.
Here's another funny thing that the Southwest flight attendants did. When they were grabbing stuff that people had left behind, they were literally holding it up and going, all right, $50. Like, I was like, dude, that's funny. Like, and I think they had been joking around a lot. And I think some people at that point were like, I don't know if they're joking anymore. Because some people are like, they're auctioning off our shit. Check your seat. Like, dude, it was so fun. Southwest, honestly, most fun flights I've ever had. Most fun.
Can't remember the last time I took a Southwest flight.
And all you have to do is check in 24 hours before boarding and you get good boarding position.
Oh, yeah.
Or, if you have a Southwest card like I do,
you
can get this is what I'm working toward. I'm going to get that A Premier List passenger, right? Like I go on before everybody else, right? Like little extra special package. All I have to do is keep booking my flights through Southwest. And they come out here all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is perfect.
It's about moving.
I'm all hooked up. Huh?
I said, too bad I'm moving.
Well, I mean, I can go to Idaho.
Oh, yeah, you can. I like United. I have a lot of points through United.
We went on United yesterday.
I like United.
Favorite airline? Go.
Delta is my favorite.
Why?
It's the best.
Okay.
Yeah. I used to fly Delta a lot in the Marine Corps, and that's where I took overseas. I think Delta has... Like, they're the most expensive, but I feel like they have the best planes, the best seats.
The best amenities.
They give you the best snacks. Yeah. I always feel like... every Delta flight, I've never had an issue, but, like, every other airline, I've had some issue at some point or another.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. Frontier is my go-to. Yeah. Because, I mean, I'm flying to Miami.
It's so cheap.
Yeah, I'm flying to Miami for $32 round trip because I'm using half of my points.
I mean, you can't.
Like, you can't beat that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Here's one thing I have noticed. Southwest, I think Southwest is not that far above Frontier as far as like actual quality of the flight system goes. You know, like you hear about them getting like they have like layovers and stuff a lot that get a little crazy and weird sometimes.
Aren't they the ones that like you pick your own seat? It's not seat assignment.
No, you don't.
Just pick your seat.
Yeah. You just get on depending on the group that you're in.
That.
I actually kind of like that. I don't care.
You get on early.
Well, it also levels the playing field.
I just want an aisle seat.
It just means that. If I get that premier boarding, I get on before everybody else. I get whatever seat I want.
Just give me an aisle 3 rows back from the front.
That's all I want to, because I have to pee a lot, man.
I don't want
old man bladder.
The front 2 are bad because that's where the flight attendants are. You get 3rd row back right before, like you have first class, and then you get 3 rows back from like the start of premium economy or whatever. Aisle seat, give me that every time.
Yeah.
Nothing in the overhead bin. Everything's at my feet. I'm good.
So we haven't gotten bagels out here yet.
You don't want to.
No?
You don't want to.
Oh, okay, good. Well, I was going to say, it probably affects making, like, now we're talking about, like, Denver and just the West Coast in general. I feel like every time I leave New York, I'm leaving behind good pizza and good bagels.
You are.
Yeah,
and
I'm sacrificing.
Is Pizza Hut.
Okay, that's the bar. No, we were talking about. Well, that's a reasonable choice, right? It's a Starbucks of pizza.
Yeah, you know what?
It's always gonna be the same
pizza because Dunkin's better than Starbucks.
No, I'm never gonna let that. No.
Okay, well we
never.
have discourse now.
Dunkin' Donuts doesn't even have good espresso machines. They don't care.
I don't care about espresso.
Okay, well there you go.
Give me a blueberry iced latte with a blueberry cake donut.
Okay, I'll give you this. If you want a blueberry cake donut, yes, Dunkin' Donuts is going to be better. It's literally got it in the name.
Yeah, exactly.
But I want good coffee.
Well, then why are you going to Starbucks?
Coffee.
But Starbucks doesn't have
not coffee. A latte. Coffee.
You know what? At least Adriana agrees with me about Starbucks.
She does?
Yep.
You're right.
If you're
listening, outnumbered
Adriana,
on this.
we're Team Dunkin'. Anyways.
Team Dunkin'.
I've spent more time on the West Coast than I have on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Because of my job, I've been all over the West Coast, California, Seattle, Oregon, and stuff. What is your, like, when you leave New York, obviously. Now,
first off, I don't want to leave New York.
First
off, I love New York. Like, fuck all what anybody says.
Even Buffalo?
Buffalo's fine. Like, I've been to Buffalo.
I've only been to Buffalo like a couple times.
Fine. Yeah, like I've been there. I've been to the skate park. I've been to the mall out there. Like I've been to a couple concerts. I've hung out there. I had friends that went to UB. I played against the University of Buffalo team in rugby and stayed overnight. Like it's not bad.
It's
like
fine.
I've had an alright time in Buffalo. Yeah, it's not horrible. I mean, here people complain about New York getting hit with like crazy winter, but then I come out here and everybody's like, it's so fucking hot, and I'm like, yeah, cool, you have that, and then also you guys get winter. You guys got crazy snow this year. Yeah. We did not. Like, we get like a month of ice, and that's it.
I'm going to miss that, because I love the snow out here.
The snow, I'm sure, is much better here than it is in New York. But In New York, we're manufacturing snow when we want to ski, so that's fine. But we do.
Yeah, I know. I've been in the slopes out there.
Yeah, we just manufacture the snow when we want it, and those are getting better and better, right?
Yeah.
So like if you enjoy that
too.
kind of activity,
They do it here.
So if you enjoy that kind of activity, that's great. Yeah. But in New York, we're getting less and less snow every year because of global warming, baby.
Global warming.
That's great.
But it's crazy because you guys are north.
Yeah, so we're getting less and less.
Less and less.
Well, and this year's an El Nino year, so that pushed a lot of the heat. Like, heat gets pushed by, like, there's pressure systems that are pushing it north. So then, like, we got less snow this year, which was crazy.
I feel like every year's been an El Nino year lately.
No, this is actually the first in a long time. We were overdue.
But I feel like a lot of people have said, like...
No, it's just this year.
Correct. I'm saying that, like, I feel like people have said over the course of the last years, like, oh, it's an El Nino year, that's why it's so hot.
No, it was La Nina for the past few years.
It's been hot. And that's one thing about the East Coast that the only thing I'm not looking forward to about going back to the East Coast is the humidity. Because at least out here, like when we were walking yesterday, like we were in the sun, it was hot. As soon as we hit the tree canopy, it was beautiful. It was great. But in the East, you can't get that.
No. But that's because we are a damp climate.
Yes.
Yeah.
I lived in
moist.
Florida,
it's moist out there.
I feel like if you've lived in the Southeast, you've conquered humidity.
Yeah.
And growing up in Florida, unfortunately, like I didn't even notice the humidity in Boston when I lived there.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
Like,
well, Boston's a little bit better because it's coastal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Upstate New York will be interesting.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. So here's the thing, though. I'm talking about how I leave behind good bagels and good pizza.
Yes.
We went to the best bagel place in Nampa, Idaho, which is like part of. So Boise has like the Boise area. From what I've gathered, you've got like Boise, Nampa, Caldwell, a couple other spots like around there, right? Meridian, Snake River runs through that area, but like, yeah.
I did a report on Snake River
it's
for a
fucking
client.
Weird. Okay, I was just told not to swim in it. Yeah,
it's bad.
Yeah. That's all I know about Snake River. Don't swim in it. But like, so we went to the best bagel shop around there, and I walk in, and here's the thing, man. I'm from New York. And I carry that with me. I didn't always carry that with me, but I carry that with me now. I walked in, I just walked up to the counter because here's how you do it in New York. You get in line, you get up to the counter, you say the thing that you want on the bagel and what kind of bagel, and that's it. Yeah. Boom, boom.
It's
done,
a simple
baby.
process.
Yeah.
Even I understand that.
Double egg, bacon, and cheese on an everything bagel. Boom. That's the order, right? That's what I'm getting. The dude behind the counter goes like, he like acts like I've just said something foreign to him, and then goes, all right, so we'll start with the number 11. I'm like, start with what are you talking about? So the whole thing is done.
I'm ready to move on.
I said the thing. And he's like, and also, if you're gonna get double egg, that's 4 eggs. I'm like, how?
Double is 2.
Double's 2.
Double is 2.
And then I realized, then I saw behind him how they do bagels out there, and like, yeah, they were making them fresh and stuff, but like, they had like a wall of microwaves for the egg and bacon and stuff, and I was like, okay, I see what I'm dealing with. Yeah. So then I'm like, all right. I guess a number 11. Like, I'm just like, so then I'm like looking at the menu. I'm like, this isn't making, I said the thing, I made it as easy as we could. Now I've got to guess which number's the thing that I kind of want and tell you. And then I still have to say the kind of bagel. And then I was like, all right. And then we got bagels. They were fine, right? Like, let's put it this way. They were fine. The only good bagels I've had outside of New York State were in Nashville, and it was by a bagel place that was owned by someone from New York State.
Yeah,
right?
you told me about that.
Yeah, from the Bronx. Like, she and I, like,
she knew what she was
doing. We
doing.
had a great time. She knew what she was doing. She even swore at me while I was in line. It was great.
Yeah.
I felt like I was home,
experience.
right? That's what I want.
Yeah.
That's what I want. I want somebody to be like, you fucking bet you get that bagel. Like, right? Or like, fuck you, but I'll get it. Like, that's what I want. Like, that's the other thing too, you know.
Kind but not nice.
We're playing mini golf last night, and like we're all ripping on each other, and like I see people looking at us. They're like, wow, those people are mean.
The person that fetched our balls at like towards the end, when we kept hitting over the railing, when that guy handed me the ball, he had this look of, what the fuck is wrong with you?
What is wrong? Yeah,
what the fuck is wrong with all of you?
It's because we in New York, we make fun of people from New Jersey, right? We're like, oh, they're so crude and rude and obnoxious and all these things, right? But then anywhere we go, we are New Jersey. Like that's I'm not gonna like that is what it is, right? You know, like
accept your fate.
Yeah, like New Jersey comes up to us, we're like, oh, how could they? They're so fucking rude. And like then we go anywhere else and they're like, did you just say fuck? Like,
are you from New York?
Yeah,
I can tell.
You're wearing a lot of black and you're yelling at each other. Like this is which is fine. I like it, you know. Even in the shop this morning, I'm yelling. I'm like, "Hey, what's your name?" Like to the people behind the counter at Bardo's. Like, "What's your name?" "Thank you, Jesse." "What's your name?" "Thank you,
caught them
Justine."
so off guard with that, by the way.
Why?
I just could tell they were like, nobody asked for their name. Like every time I've been in there, nobody asked them for their name.
Oh, really?
Like, that is not
so
a
they
thing.
probably appreciate
Oh, yeah,
that.
no, you caught off guard in a good way.
Oh, good.
I also just realized I'm the only person in our friend group that is not from the Northeast.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody else, because Adriana's from the Northeast.
Mm-hmm.
You are. Mm-hmm. Kieran, Faye,
Yep.
Matt, Kinsey.
Yep.
Alden, Brittany, Chris, Nate.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the only person
I know.
that's not from.
Well, so we're just indoctrinating you into our ways. And then, of course, you know, you and Nate, right? Like, so Nate's from New Jersey. So, hey.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're just surrounded by it.
And
You're honorary Northeasterner now.
I consider myself honorary Northeasterner because my favorite place I've ever lived is Boston.
Oh, yeah.
And I talk about it and I never shut up about it.
You did love Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually have everybody at my work convinced that I'm from Boston. I just don't have the accent. And
Oh, that's funny.
I'm improving. Eventually I'll tell them.
There's a lot of
tell them the truth.
There's a lot of people in Boston without the accent.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
a very specific
People
accent.
just assume that like if you're from Jersey,
Yeah.
Bronx, like all that you had the accent, but no.
And here's the funny thing. The New Jersey accent, the only reason people think that's a New York accent is because a lot of people live in New Jersey and then work in New York.
Yeah, exactly. They
Right?
shut
So
them
like
off
they
the city.
so it's not the New York accent, it's the New Jersey accent in New York City.
Exactly.
Just taking place there. Yeah. And that's like it's a weird like Italian American thing. Up where I'm from, the most common accent that you run into is like mountain hillbilly accent, right?
Makes
Oh,
sense.
dude,
The
yeah.
Adirondacks are right there.
Yeah, they've got their own way of talking. Like they're like, "Hey, bud, let me tell you a thing or two about a thing or two, bud." Like that's how the conversation begins. "Oh, bud, how's weather today?" "Oh, she's sure shitting, bud." Like, no, I'm serious. Like that's how they talk.
The Canadian influence is strong there. It's same
Yeah.
in Minneapolis.
Yeah, people take like a huge bite out of a sandwich that's delicious and go, "Oh, bud." Like it's like it's not bud. It's bud. It is the word bud, but it's not the word bud. You know,
Exactly.
It's BAHD. Bud.
Yeah.
"Oh, bud. What's up, bud?"
And see, growing up in the South, the accents that I got introduced
Yeah.
to, they're like, I go to New York and New Jersey and like Boston. I'm like, yeah, your accents are fine. Then I go to like Alabama to visit my sister.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
And I'm like, what the fuck did you just say to me?
Yeah, dude.
What? Yeah, you can go hit the bone down on the tree and with the tractor up in the wagon. And I'm like, what?
But way
What?
slower. Way slower.
It's like-
way slower.
Well, some of them talk really fast.
That blows my mind. When a Southerner can actually speak quickly
The
when they
auctioneers.
don't have the drawl. Yeah, when all of a sudden they're talking really fast, I'm like, God damn, first off, you're a transplant. We know this because they don't talk that fast. I can't tell you how many times I've been in a conversation with someone south of the Mason-Dixon line and just been like, okay, like I've actually like done this, like, move it along, like move my finger around, like, come on.
My favorite thing about people in the South, and this is not me ripping on anybody in the South, but
you are.
I know this person who's from technically it's the South, and whenever they're telling a story about anything at all, it's always like like bagels, for instance. Their story would be, "Yeah, I went to the bagel shop. I went to this bagel shop back in the day, and when I was at that bagel shop, there was a lady, and what was her?" It's like they start a story and then they deviate into like five other, and then they come back and they go, "And all that to be said, I got an onion bagel. It was really good." And it's like, oh my God,
dude, that is not beholden to the South. That exists everywhere.
But it's with
that
the Southern
person.
accent. Just because then you have the draw of the accent, the long story, the tangents, and it's just like 20 minutes later you find out that the point of the story was they like onion on their bagel or whatever.
That's it.
Like,
Yeah. No, dude. Yeah, they're like they have a captive audience. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Dude, traveling.
Nightmare.
That's the thing is like I'm so glad that no one has ever considered me a captive audience on a plane. I would not play along.
Yeah.
I would start messing with them. But I told you, like, we were on our way across and there's this guy sitting next to this kid on the plane.
Yeah.
And he's like, I hear the kid introducing himself and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm not originally from here. I'm from Mexico, whatever. Like they're just kind of, I'm like, "Oh cool. Yeah. People are talking to each other." I take out my headphones as we're landing in Denver, and I hear this guy's like, "Well, Patricio, your name's pretty fancy. Mine's not. It's just Jeff. I'm a Southern Baptist preacher, and I got to tell you, there's no coincidence that we were sat next to each other today on this plane." Like,
I think there was. I think there was.
He's like, "There's no coincidence. We don't worship a god of randomness, Patricio." I was like, "Oh, dude, this guy's got a captive audience." And you can tell, like, the Patricio kid was just being nice. Like, you could hear in his voice.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, "Oh, wow, that's
you
crazy. That's crazy, man." He's like, "Hey, it ain't crazy."
You watch your
It's
mouth.
like, "Oh, no." Like, but then I can't help but overhear, so I, like, lean forward and cup my ear. I'm, like, leaning forward into the chair, but cupping my ear so I can, like, catch more of the sound. I'm like, what is he talking about? He's like, "Now, Patricio, I like to think about when you go to heaven and there's the line and the angel's there and he's got to check with his supervisor to see if you get in."
It's all DMV related.
Like, why are
the heaven is the DMV.
Why is heaven the DMV for you, first off?
Number 65. Joseph, who was hit by a car.
As soon as he was saying that, I was like, there's too many people who die. There's too many people. You can't make it a line. It would take too long.
Dude, World War II victims are still in line. What are you
They're
talking
still
about?
in line, man. Yeah, Nagasaki's
One
still
angel.
in line. They're still going through. You can't. Could you? Like, I want to be like Jeff. Just so you know, when you get up to heaven, you're gonna be really upset that they haven't gotten through Nagasaki yet.
And if you're like any other Christian from the South, you're gonna be real upset. There's people of other colors in front of you.
Yeah. Oh my god.
No white privilege in heaven.
Dude,
Sorry.
he was really funny. Like, and he was like, oh, dude. But like, I'm really glad that I've never gotten that, luckily. You know, like, I get a lot of people like, you know, like Ginger and Howard.
Yeah.
Like we know when to stop talking.
Yeah, exactly.
We stop talking. We're done.
Did I tell you about I told you briefly last night about how we had some people that they're Mormons.
Yeah.
And they were going around knocking on doors. Did I tell you about how they caught me in the parking lot?
No. They caught you with a net?
Yeah. Just a giant.
Ha!
Jesus.
You're going to come worship Jesus. He's on a planet called Kolob.
What they did is because, you know, atheists love to hate on God. They put an upside down cross on the floor, and I was like, "Oh, satanic!" And I went to go reach it, and then a big rope came up and grabbed me.
No, they got you. That's how they got you.
They talked at me. No, but they.
How did you know it was upside down if it was on the ground?
Because I'm stupid.
You just rotate yourself around it.
Like, it's upside down.
What is that? Hold on.
So these guys are coming, and I can show you when we walk later. Like, I can show you exactly where they came from. And have you ever been walking? And now, 90% of the time when I'm walking, Max, I have my headphones in. Yeah. This time I didn't. And you know, like when you hear people go, "Hey," and you don't know if they're talking to you. So instead of like giving them the attention and looking like a silly person in case they're not, you just keep walking and you're like, "Well, they'll yell at me again."
Yeah.
They yelled and then they're like, "Excuse me." And I like did one of those like looked over my thing, and as soon as I saw him, I was like, "Oh, fucking
here it goes."
Fucking kidding me? This is an apartment complex. I don't want to be solicited.
Let me guess: backpacks, white shirts, black tie,
Holding
black pants. Oh, here we go.
The guy, he was like, and look, this isn't an insult on religion. This is an insult on the people that were going about it this way, because I'm walking across my parking lot, like I'm not on a path. I'm
by yourself
with my dog.
You're doing your thing.
Like I'm clearly going somewhere, and they're like, "We just wanted to know if you had a quick second. We're sharing the word of Jesus." I just looked at him and I was like, "I love Satan," and I just kept on walking. And the guy, I just heard as I walked away, he went, "Okay, have a good day."
God bless him, I guess.
And I realized that, like, yes, that's probably, like, even for me, it's a little harsh. But at the same time, I feel like you have to catch those people off guard so they don't have time to be like, because like Patricio, like, it's crazy. It's not crazy. It's like, you're just like, "I love Satan.
Yeah.
Satan fucks me on the regular." They're just gonna be like, like, they're just like, okay.
Yeah. Look, if you're approaching someone dressed as a salesperson,
exactly,
right? Like, I don't care what it is you're selling.
They don't live here
or what it is you're proselytizing, or what it is you're offering. Like, you're dressed as a salesperson. You're catching somebody. You don't know when you're catching these people. You know, like that's it. Like, and that not only that, I think it's really funny that Mormons are like, "We're sharing the word of Jesus," and then but it's like the word of Joseph Smith, really,
John Stewart,
like John Stewart or whoever. This week on the podcast, John Stewart and his Mormon religion. What was funny about you saying that when you mixed up John Stewart and Joseph Smith is John Stewart's Jewish.
Oh yeah,
yes, very much so. But yeah, dude. Well, and there's more out here, right? Like,
because we're close to Utah, where they all were born and created in a lab.
No. Okay,
that's what the lab of Mormonism is.
So yeah, no. So Joseph Smith got kicked out of Rochester, New York.
Yeah,
and then said, you guys, I'm going to the I wanted to beat myself up. He said, fuck you guys, I'm going to the promised land. And then like just kind of went and kept getting kicked out of town after town until eventually they were like,
Salt Lake
City.
And now I heard the reason he ended up not going any further than Salt Lake.
He died.
Oh, I heard. Well, yeah, obviously he did die.
He died.
Well, I heard that
dysentery.
He couldn't make it any further because of like the mountains.
I think he got shot.
Oh, maybe not. Then
something happened.
Maybe I'm thinking of people in Colorado that couldn't go further than the Rockies.
Wait, hold on.
We're gonna look up the life. Welcome to our Mormon episode where we talk about John Smith or Joseph Stewart. What was his name again?
Let's do this.
Oh my god.
Hey, Adriana, how did Joseph Smith die?
What?
How did Joseph Smith die?
Who the fuck is Joseph Smith?
I was. Aren't you my digital assistant? Aren't you going to help me answer?
No, I'm not.
You're not going to answer the question.
I quit that day. I told you I quit.
You have to have at least a 2-week resignation notice.
We're But do you know how Joseph Smith died?
Is it like a black thing? Should I know this, or is that
No, it's a Mormon thing.
And
He's the Mormon
live in
guy.
Idaho, so it makes sense.
Very far from Mormonism. So
You don't know the Mormon stuff?
no, I don't.
Oh.
Have you seen a black Mormon? No.
You've got a really good point. Thank you for helping. I appreciate. All right.
You're welcome.
All right.
So quit.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
I love you.
Love you.
All right, bye.
I'm Googling it. Who killed Joseph Smith? He was assassinated.
He got shot
Joseph Smith,
by
the
an
founder
unruly
and
mob.
leader of Latter-day Saint movement, and his brother Hiram Smith were killed by a mob in Carthage, Illinois, United States, June 27th, 1844, while awaiting trial in the town jail.
Oh.
Part of anti-Mormon violence in the U.S. Carthage, Illinois.
So then Brigham Young took over and took everybody to Salt Lake City.
I'm guessing he was assassinated because he was preaching Mormonism and people were like, stop it.
Yeah, but at that point, it wasn't even like 100% Mormonism. It was like just this guy, Joseph Smith, saying, Jesus talked to me.
It was an
It
anti-Mormon
it was an angel. So like the whole story of Mormonism. All right, this is the podcast now. So the whole story is like, Joseph Smith one day is just like, and he was like kind of like a failed entrepreneur in a lot of ways. And then he just came out one day and he's like, hey, an angel came down and talked to me and showed me these gold tablets. And his wife was like, nuh-uh.
The 10 Commandments?
His wife was like, nuh-uh. And he's like, no. This angel's name is Moroni. And he showed me these gold tablets, but nobody else can see him. And I promised.
I feel like the name of that angel is like he was looking at himself in the mirror briefly. He was like, it was
Moroni.
Like looking at things in the room and like putting them together.
Well, and then his wife's like, no, Joseph, you're being silly. But she was like, this is the man I'm married. I can't. And at that time, like, you can't get divorced. Like, so eventually she does leave him. Like in the story, like she's like, no.
This is too much.
This is like I'm not doing this. And he's like, well, and like eventually he gets basically chased out of Rochester. Like Rochester's like, we don't want this around. Like you keep running around saying you have these gold tablets that an angel showed you, but whenever anyone has to see him, you say that nobody can see him. Okay, you're out.
You're gone.
And then he's like, well, I've got a few people who believe me. Let's go. And like those people just went with him. And he kept preaching, and like they kept traveling, and then he gets killed. And then Brigham Young takes over and is like, all right, we're going to the Promised Land, which is apparently where the Garden of Eden originally was or something.
City,
yeah,
USA.
Salt Lake City, USA, which is fucking weird.
Yeah.
But then they settle, and like now there's just, there's Mormons and stuff. And like, that's just, I guess, that's the mythology part of religion, more than anything else.
Right. Like when you think about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Hit
Like,
me.
so this is probably like between 1830 and 1850.
Yeah.
Given like when he was dead, like when he died.
Yeah.
The people that believed him, now that we have a better understanding of like mental illnesses and like diseases and like things that can affect your cognitive thinking skills.
Yeah.
Like I really wonder when some of these people, like even Joseph Smith himself, like, was he like, what are these things did he have? Was he multi-personality? Was he,
Well, if you also think of the time period in which this happened, in my mind, a lot of the people who left with him were probably like, well, I actually probably have a better chance of surviving. Because this is a time period where, like, you could still just die of homelessness in the U.S., like, real quick.
Like now.
Like, well, worse than now, because they didn't have healthcare the way that we have it, right? So, like,
How many homeless people these days are getting health care?
But I mean, like, they didn't even have homeless shelters and
no,
shit. Like it was way harder, right? So like these people are like, all right, if I go with this guy, he seems like he's at least like charismatic and like I might get along.
Yeah, you never know. It might be outside of Rochester.
So,
because
yeah.
you couldn't check Google Maps and just be like,
You couldn't.
let me go down the street.
Yeah, you
But
kind
also, when it comes to homelessness,
like the Oregon Trail was still going on at this point.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of people who hit the Oregon Trail just didn't have any prospects over here. Yeah. Like they were, well, over here. We're in Denver.
You're on the right
Sorry.
side of the map. Wrong side of what you're talking about.
I meant in New York. Like New York and those states, like the people who were hitting the Oregon Trail were like, well, I might as well just go ferret in the open. like we'll head that way. I think there's some towns we can stop at.
Imagine crossing Kansas before it was Kansas.
That's wild.
That would be boring as fuck.
Yeah, that's wild. You're just like, wow, so much land here. Like
So much nothing.
I mean, that's what it is, right? But that's, that's what was going on. So I think a lot of the people who left with Joseph Smith were like, oh yeah, no, we'll go with him. Like they were doing their own little Oregon Trail,
But I also like to think that some of these people probably had some issues.
Oh,
Some issues that can be medicated.
Yeah, you're going to have that in any society.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, and Joseph Smith definitely. I mean, I feel like to say that an angel talked to you and that you got golden tablets, but nobody else can see them. There's definitely some things going on there.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, as a fully grown adult man, definitely some sort of something where one of the symptoms is like a need for attention.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Like I don't want to call it acute narcissism just right off the rip because I don't know.
Yeah.
But like something similar, at least
He
in
had
the
something.
ballpark, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Somewhere in that realm. And then we're out here in Denver, and there's Mormons here too. It's great.
Not as many.
No.
This is a purple state though, through and through.
Yeah. So it's like, well, New York is too. I mean, we've got the city, which kind of holds down the Democrat part, but like we're up where I am, a lot of Republicans. Yeah, very purple.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so yesterday we had a really good time. We went mini golfing.
Yes, we did.
Yep, Wonderland was pretty sick. We got to check out some coffee shops. What are we doing today? What's on our itinerary? We're floating. Where are we going? We're going to Golden. Colorado? Okay. Where's that? Is that far from here?
It's like 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Wow.
Maybe 15.
Wow. We're
Golden
crushing.
is where when we talked about Boulder?
Yeah.
If you live in Boulder, you suck. No, I'm just kidding. But not really. Nobody in Boulder's gonna hear this, and if they do, we're not allowed.
We're kicked out of Boulder.
Now we're not allowed in Boulder. Golden.
No Chicago Midway. No
Boulder.
Spokane. No
Spokane.
No Louisville. No Louisville.
All right. Golden is where if you have money, but also class.
Oh, cool.
Boulder's where you go if you have money, but no class.
You're wealthy now. Oh, okay. So
no, I'm sorry. Boulder's where you go if you have money and you think you have class.
Yes.
You think that wearing Patagonia hats and North Face jackets and having a Jeep Wrangler and an A-frame house somehow makes you a desirable person. Whereas Golden is, people just are like, yeah, like, here we are.
God damn.
Right? Golden's beautiful.
Yeah. Okay.
Some people would say it's the golden child of Denver.
Here's my question. And this is just so you know.
Oh, just so I know your question.
This is just so you know.
I don't have to answer.
My intention today.
Okay.
Can I wear my Speedo?
Listen, Kevin, you can wear whatever you want.
Yes.
Whether or not people look at you is a different story.
I mean, I have 2 Speedos with me and then
you do.
regular swim trunks. And there's a softball tournament going on or something. So there were a bunch
Is that
of
what you call
kids
your
down at the
testicles?
pool yesterday. Oh my. The softball tournament's in town, baby. The softball. The softball tournament.
That's what you call your balls when they're in a speed.
No, but there were a lot of kids at the pool yesterday, so I wore my normal swim trunks, and they're like, and then I was like, well, maybe I'll wear my Speedo tomorrow. Full admission, I've basically been living in my Speedos any chance I get this summer. Like my free time when I can actually go outside because we have the pool in the backyard and the fence and everything. I'm just in my Speedo, baby.
Just chilling.
I'm having a great time. I've got 2 Speedos. I alternate. One's black, one's neon green. And I'm just chilling in my Speedo. Now, of course, I'm not like sending people pictures of me hanging out in my Speedo. Because like, I feel like it's definitely, I'm just fucking European, man. That's what it is. I'm just very European. I'm just a European man. Like, I'm a European, and I was just put in this American body, and I don't identify with it.
Okay.
No, I'm just, well, like, a lot of times, like, I feel like I'm wearing, like, skinny jeans and a fur coat, and people are like, what is that, gay? But, like, then I have friends who are from like Italy and Spain and stuff and they're like, dude, you would be just fine.
What's your ethnicity background again?
I'm a mix of like Mediterranean, European, and WASP. Like it's a lot of, and then there's some Native American, but a lot of French. A lot of French.
Oh.
More than you would think.
Ugh.
Yeah, but I love the French.
Oh, you do?
I do.
Ugh.
I'm a Francophile.
Ugh.
Why? Ugh.
Ugh.
What are you talking about? Jean-Jacques Rousseau is the godfather of the Constitution.
I thought he was the guy in Les Mis.
No.
Oh.
No, that's Jean Valjean.
Oh.
Jean Valjean? Jacques Valjean? Whatever. Yeah, Jean Valjean or something.
I like macarons.
Whatever. That Les Mis is just about a constable who can't get over the fact that he has feelings for Jean Valjean. That's what it's about. A police officer who's like, I don't know how to let this guy know I love him, so I'm going to chase him down to the end of the earth.
Unironically, like France.
Yeah.
The things in France.
Their rugby team is amazing and sometimes beats the All Blacks. Not a lot of countries have that. Their soccer teams are great. France, like Marseille, is one of the most notable and historic ports in the entire world. Alexander Dumas wrote The Count of Monte Cristo, right? And that greatly is influenced by his time in France and then also in the Caribbean islands. Hold on. Okay. Albert Camus develops The Myth of Sisyphus, one of the most poignant philosophical books of the modern age. Simone de Beauvoir comes from France, and she does Identity, right? She's one of the first people to say, you're not born a woman, you become a woman. She's from France, right? Jean-Paul Sartre writes No Exit, where he posits that hell is other people. A lot of the modern philosophy that we're going to need to use if we're going to continue to be progressive comes from Sartre, Camus, Simone de Beauvoir, comes from Michel Foucault. Michel Foucault develops out the philosophy of the panopticon, which comes from Jeremy Bentham, but he's positing how we're mistreating things in society and not organizing our language the correct way. France actually does a fuck ton for us. And here's the thing. I think a lot of the people that hate France, they hate France the same way they hate another sports team. It's all just a bunch of dumb propaganda. Because France did almost fucking take over the world at one point.
With
Napoleon, right? But here's the thing. Napoleon wasn't going around saying, hey, let's genocide. Napoleon was like, no, politically, I think it would just be better if we had one language and everybody could communicate. Yes, absolutely.
Are you defending
Yes, right now.
Napoleon Bonaparte?
Yes, because I know you're going to go after France. Listen.
Yeah?
The game of risk. Okay.
Here's my counterpoint.
Hit me.
They immediately surrendered in World War II.
Yeah, because they were look at the state that they were in. And ultimately France had been completely beat up, right? And then they got blitzkrieg. They didn't immediately surrender. First off, they got blitzkrieg. And they got blitzkrieg harder than but Britain at least had the distance, right? And the separation. You're hating on France, and you've got, I'm going to say I have more reasons that we actually owe things to France than France should be hated on. And it's not just and not only that, France got demonized after Napoleon Bonaparte. They were still dealing with that. They were still coming back.
But here's the counterpoint to France.
Okay, hit me.
Right? Okay.
Hit me.
They were stupid enough to let somebody sell them their own Eiffel Tower twice.
Yes. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, but they also created the Statue of Liberty, which was wild
I guess.
for us, right? I mean, that's cool,
I
right?
Sure.
They laid the foundation for what eventually became Western democracy.
Are you a liberty head?
No, but I'm saying they laid the foundation for what eventually became Western democracy.
They also let somebody sell their own creation back to them
you've got,
twice.
You've got 2 points
It
so
was the
far.
same
You've got
guy.
2 points so far.
The same guy sold the French their own Eiffel Tower twice.
I think that's more a credit to that guy's
that
swindling.
guy wasn't French though. So
Yeah, but I think that's more a credit to that guy's
was he
swindling than it is a discredit to France.
there's an IQ disparity there.
There's an IQ disparity happening everywhere. But I'm a big Francophile. I love the French.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's weird.
And they also gave us what do you call it when you're doing some of the best high-end fine dining service in the world? They call it French service, right?
No.
Yes.
No. They call it fried chicken service.
No.
In South of America.
No, they don't.
South of America.
Are you defending Chick-fil-A?
No.
Okay.
No.
Oh, are you sure?
Absolutely not.
That's
They're homophobic.
That's where it seems you're going.
Nope, I'm queer. I can't.
All right. You know who's not homophobic? The French.
I disagree.
Oh,
Aren't
okay.
they, mostly conservative.
No, they're
Although,
experiencing.
Didn't Britain just get
France
rid of
is
their
a
conservative
France.
party?
No,
The Labour Party's now,
no, it's not gotten rid of. It's still there.
but in charge is now.
Well, so France is here. France has the same problem we have, where alt-right, well, no, like
And Biden?
right-wing nationalist politics are on the rise. And then actually what happened recently is Macron, the president of France, called for a vote. Instead of like, this is a very interesting move. The guy was like, oh, you guys think you can run the government better?
I kind of remember this.
I'm going to call for a vote now. Put your money where your mouth is. And when I saw that, I was like, that's actually kind of a smart move. It's a win-win.
Yeah.
Because either they win and they have to go then put their money where their mouth is and run the government, and they're probably going to suck at it, right? Or he wins and he's won the vote. Yeah. I was like, so
Macron.
So
I know we don't usually get political, but
hit me.
I want to ask.
We're deep in it now.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to switch up to
I defended Napoleon.
Wild. We can leave all of that out.
No, we don't. No, we don't. He's fine. He's fine.
He's not.
He's fine.
No, he is not. I want the record to state that me and anything involving my brand does not support
Napoleon Bonaparte did.
Please do not cancel me.
Hit me.
Okay. So, American politics. I saw this interesting article and I read it. And I'm going to summarize it. I'm very curious what you think.
Hit me.
The article basically outlined... Now, there are reasons why people think Biden should step down from running as president anyways, but this one took it in a different...
He should.
He should. No, I mean, they both should. Like, if we're being totally honest, I don't care what side of the political spectrum you're on. They're both fucking atrocious. Yeah. They are the squashed bug on the sidewalk equivalent of a good candidate.
Yeah.
This article was saying that what Biden should do is withdraw from the race completely, not because of his age or because of the fact that he can't speak or the fact that he always looks like he's staring into space.
But he should for those reasons.
But keep going. For those reasons, as well as a lot more.
But keep going.
But basically, it's the most like extreme version of proving a point, which is like just let Trump get the presidency, let him get it, and let us just go through 4 years of Trump not doing anything he said he would do, because the article basically details like everything he has said in the last like basically 8 years since he was president and not president with Biden.
Yeah.
And everything he does contradicts himself, that this person fully believes that if Biden just gave Trump the presidency, Trump would do such a bad job that even some of his own following would turn against him, because everything he says is such a lie, because he can't speak the truth, that like eventually he would do things that his own supporters wouldn't like, or eventually, you know, after 2-3 years of Trump being in office and things only getting worse, they would eventually be like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, I usually, because of the way our political system is structured, and because we currently exist in a state where the system unnaturally adheres to a bipartisan system, right? Like it's very unnatural and it's only bipartisan. We could have a million options, but people seem to think that these overfunded two political parties that are the automatic candidates seem to be the right choice regardless.
The only ones.
And they're like, we'll point out someone else. I'm like, there's hundreds.
There's so many.
I need more info on them, but they don't get enough money because nobody thinks that they're going to win in the first place, which just perpetuates the bipartisan system.
So annoying.
So like it's a self-fulfilling like negative system.
Prophecy.
Yeah, every year.
Well,
every 4 years where this comes around. And so like I kind of find that every election, even since I was like a kid, because even as a kid I remember like watching the recount in Florida and being like, because I was a kid, but like I was old enough to kind of understand what was going on. I was like, how come they couldn't count the ballots correctly? And then somebody tried to explain it to me, and I was like, that sounds like not good. And like, I remember as a kid being like, wait, adults got paid to make this system that didn't work. And I was like, wait, if they can fuck up that bad, what else are they fucking up on? Like, that was the initial like thought process that I had as a kid, was like, wait, what else are adults fucking up on? The real world became extra real during the recount for me at like 12. But like, so then, like, I usually find that every single campaign, I kind of end up just hitting like my main talking point, which like 4 years ago was we have to stop voting for one party or the other and thinking that it's only two parties. To which everyone's like, well, if you don't vote for them, then this person, you're throwing your vote. I'm like, well, that is the problem right there. Not part of the problem. That is the problem. Is that you think that I'm throwing shit away if I don't vote for either the thing you want or the thing you don't want, right? And that's really what that is it's sequential propagandizing and leveraging of a bias point,
Yep.
right? So like that's all people are doing there. But this year, all I want to say is like, do you think, like I keep saying to my friends who are Republican, but who I know are progressive enough to like use correct pronouns and like understand that like we don't actually have capitalism without people yet. I don't know. I did just see a giant Roomba in the fucking airport when I landed in Boise. I was like, what the fuck? Like, dude, here's the best part about that video before I continue my point. There was the self-cleaning janitorial vacuum thing that obviously had been converted out of an old janitorial. Like there was a seat on it for a person.
I saw
it
that.
could have been done manually, but you know what happened instead? The person who was the janitor or who was doing whatever there left a mop head on the floor of on where their feet would go on the fucking Roomba. I was like, there's a fucking mop on a Roomba right now, just riding the shit, just a dry mop.
Work smarter, not harder.
Anyway, so the thing that I'm saying to my Republican friends who I know are progressive enough that they would get this, I'm like, do you think I like voting for Democrats? Like, that's what I keep saying this election. Because I'm trying to level with them and be like, dude, if you could get us more moderate Republicans, that would be great. Like, that's kind of like the propaganda I'm leaning into, because it's all propaganda. Yeah. But like, for me, at least the stance I'm taking is like, come more to the center.
Yes.
For me.
It's not asking a lot.
Yeah, because I actually do like some of the conservative economic policies, right?
Yeah.
I like some of them. And do I read up enough on it enough to enunciate that on a podcast or care enough to pretend that I'm an expert on it? No. But I do know that like every once in a while someone who's a Republican makes a really good point and I go, oh, that's actually, yes. Okay, that, you said something good there.
Yeah,
right?
And you'll never see that person again.
Well, it's not that I'll never see that person. I see them a lot.
Oh, I actually
like
political.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, you'll never hear from them again.
Yeah, but then there's like Democrats who also they'll make really good, like more middle of the ground. And what you're alluding to is then after they make those points, the parties that they're part of just kind of put them back. They're like, no. Well, we don't want you up front.
You saw it with the Trump supporters of the Republican Party that even some of them are getting too extreme for the ones that follow Trump.
Yeah,
you know,
dude, and Democrats too. Like they totally ousted Sanders. Like Sanders totally had a much better foothold than what they made it seem out to be. They're like, oh, he can't do it, and like Bernie Sanders is actually phenomenal, and not only that, a good human being.
He would have been better.
Yeah. But like, so like, I'm just trying to get people to come more center so that they can recognize that like you don't have to be part of these extremes. You know, that's not the dialogue that we need. That's not going to get us anywhere. Ultimately, I feel like the way forward is bringing people more center so that we can find the things that we have in common more. Bill Maher, who I went and saw live with my mom, which was amazing. The biggest point, because all he does is rip on politicians.
Yeah.
Like, he rips on politics and social policies and stuff. And he doesn't say everything that I agree with either, but like he's got some really great jokes, and the point that he kept bringing up, or at least the point that he circled back to at least once or twice in his stand-up, was we have to get people sitting at the same table again. Like, yeah, that was his point.
And this debate
I was
is
like,
a great example of that.
I agree with him. Yeah, because we are sitting at the same table. I think Republicans and Democrats watch that debate alike, and we're like, oh no, what is going on here?
I think that they might have... See, this is the problem that so many problems. One of the things I feel like that was wrong with that is, I think you're right. I think they, like, people on both sides were like, oh, this is bad, but then immediately got on to their platforms and were like, whoa, and they just defended them blindly. Like,
well, okay,
I saw it on both sides. People defending Trump's lies and Biden's whatever the fuck he was doing. I don't know what that was.
You can't look at that man and then go, he is very coherent. He's at the top of his game.
He's
you
81 years old.
And not only that, Trump is like 79, 78. Yeah.
If Trump wins, he'll be the oldest president to ever serve at the end of his 4 years.
Which was the biggest complaint about Biden the last time
If Biden wins, he will be the oldest president to win and be this old.
And really, like, I was really... I'm going to be honest, and this is going to sound a little mean. I was really hoping
one of them
last election was the last hurrah for the boomer generation. I was really hoping it was the last hurrah for them, and that we would finally get an election where like really like it's millennials and Gen Z, because we need to be participating more. And boomers are like, boomers say that, and I'm calling them boomers, right? It's the baby boomer generation.
Yep.
Like, you can call them boomers. I'm not calling them boomers in a derogatory way. I'm saying them as a group, the baby boomers, they will point and be like, well, you guys aren't active enough in politics. It's like, well, you don't like our policies.
Yeah,
like,
well,
you don't like what our opinions and how central we are. Like, because there are a lot of people in our generations that are leaning more and more center, and we're finding more commonality. And I think that like the political parties that are bipartisan and very like in a very hyperbolic way, just completely demeaning each other all the time. They don't like when people come in and they go, actually, I kind of like that guy over there. Like, that's on the other side of the aisle. I don't mind that guy. Right. But that's what we're going to need if we're going to move forward in any positive way. Like Bill Maher said. And this is my thought too. We need to get people coming back to the same table. Like,
well, I mean, I would be the first one to. I would vote for somebody. This is the candidate I would vote for, and I don't care Republican, Democrat, green, yellow, blue, whatever. I want somebody that cares about everybody's rights, whether you're queer,
cares about human rights.
Yeah, human rights. Everybody
cares about human rights,
no matter what.
Okay,
and that's like, honestly, that's almost a baseline for me
huge.
At this point because of all this stuff going on.
Human rights.
Somebody that has a good economic plan for the country, isn't a failed businessman, and isn't it too old to understand that business that's changed in the modern era. And like, honestly, the bar is so low that if somebody checked both those boxes, because human rights covers a lot, right? Like, that would cover, like, pro-choice,
human rights actually covers the economic part too, because one of the biggest things that we're going to come up against in the next like 10 years is like the thing that's going to be taking all of our jobs, not AI, and it's not aliens. Yeah, it's AI. Yeah, no, it's going to be AI, and it's going to be like computerized stuff. Like, it's already happening where, and this is part of why capitalism isn't a model that functions in perpetuity, right? It's because as you streamline things and make them easier and better, capitalism tends to lean away from the human experience, right? And it's not, so we need to balance that out. It's not that capitalism is all bad. It got us to this point, but getting us to this point doesn't mean it's all good either, because at one point, feudalism got us to a certain point. But then we recognized, oh, okay, it got us to this point, and we're grateful for that, and we've recognized there's a better system now, and we need to evolve into that, right? It's about an evolution, right? And especially on the human side, evolving into a place where we can do more work a little easier, but then still recognize the need for human labor and like the interaction therein, right? Because the more capitalism develops out systems that alienate people from jobs that they could otherwise be performing, right? And we're talking about a little bit of inefficiency versus efficiency here. I think much like there's planned obsolescence for phones, we need to talk about necessary inefficiency, or like, no, I'm serious, like for human beings, like having people who are doing jobs, right? Because artisanal jobs are slowly fading away as more and more things are mass produced. And like, now we have 3D printers. Like, we have so much that we can do from the comfort of a chair that like labor jobs are harder and harder to come by. And then people are like, well, nobody wants to work. And it's like, well, actually a lot of people are going and applying to these jobs, and the standards are so ridiculous, or they're getting laid off because of machine work.
And the standards part is what blows my mind. It's like, how can you sit there and say that nobody wants to work, but the entry bar level is unattainable?
Yeah.
Like, even people with
like
degrees,
you graduate college and they're like, you need 5 years of experience in the field. It's like, all right, cool. Well, I don't have that because I went to college.
Does that count towards it?
And they're like, no, it doesn't count. You have to go get 5 years of experience. And you're like, where the fuck do I find that?
Now, do you have a degree?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I have a bachelor's.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
My entire life, since I left for the Marine Corps at 18 and have been in the professional working industry, I never went to college. I did a semester and a half. I dropped out in halfway through my second semester. Okay. I was getting an English degree because I was told I had to go to college. And this is while I was in the military. But long story short, every job I've had, everything I've done, whether it was an entry level when I first started working at 22 when I got out of the Marine Corps, or now, I have consistently made more than people that have degrees. Great example of this. There was somebody in my department that had a degree. I made more than them.
Yeah.
I have in-laws that have masters. master's degrees, made more than them.
Yeah.
There's people at my environmental job when I was in the field in a like supervisor and management position that worked at corporate that had PhDs that I made more.
Well, now you're touching on the college system, and
that's what I'm saying.
That's
like,
a whole.
And it's a very obviously fucked up system, but it's just so interesting that if you are able to get your foot in the door, even if it's just being a truck driver, you can eventually make more than people coming in at these positions that need all this experience. And it's just, the whole system is obviously flawed, is what I'm getting at. Like, it doesn't make any sense that me without a degree ended up making more than people with degrees just because I was there it took me 2 years to get to this position.
Yeah.
And that somehow, like, it's just, but that person needs 5 years to come into that position. It's just weird.
Going back to where we kind of started with this, I can say from my experiences in the working world, at least like, and even now, like, most of the reason that I've gotten any job isn't because I showed someone my diploma
or your portfolio
or my degree or any of that. It's because I had a base level of charisma. I'm a generally happy person.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and I show up dressed up for the job that I want. I show up early rather than on time. I'm happy. I'm usually making jokes. I find points of connection with people and I'm able to just socialize in a good way that makes people go, oh, I want that person on my team.
Yeah.
And like, that has gotten me the job. Now, on the other side of that, I have a degree. And when people are talking to me, they learn very quickly that I work hard and that I'm a diligent and disciplined person. So those help too, right? Like, I don't want to
plays a key.
Yeah, but big time, like, and like, let's also level. I am a middle-aged white man in America. So that might help me a little bit too. Here's where I think that actually helps me more than not. I don't think people are hiring me because they're looking at me and saying, middle-aged white man in America, oh, I'm going to hire this guy. I think what's happening is I have the privilege to feel more comfortable in front of anybody, right? Like, and
yes,
that's the privilege that we're really talking about. Is it an undue privilege? I don't know, but I have it. And I feel more comfortable going into any job interview. It doesn't matter who's interviewing me because of who I am. And I do recognize that. Like, that's where that starts. But then after that, I follow through with charisma, good attitude, positive mindset, like hardworking. So I do follow through, luckily, right? But there is an amount of privilege that gets me there. But ultimately, it's not my college degree that's getting me in front of people. It's people going, oh, I like that guy. And then someone else going, yeah, cool. What does he want to do? And then me going, I'd like to do this. And they're like, we have a job for that. And I'm like, oh, cool. Great. I'm interested, you know?
I mean, I agree with that. I think it's so, and this might be a good one to kind of bow tie this political conversation.
Wrap it up, baby. And then we'll go tubing.
Floating. And we still gotta go buy the tubes. I saw this video.
And get Caribou coffee.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, can't wait. I saw this video. I was on TikTok. What a surprise. And it was a creator rambling, and then obviously somebody was like stitching it, so like they had points to talk about. But this guy,
do you remember the creator's name?
No,
for the sake of the joke, can it be Lukewarm Evans?
Yes, all right, Lukewarm Evans and Jessica Holiday Day.
Yes, are creating on TikTok. Okay, so what did you say?
So this guy was talking about. He's like, I hate that. As a white person, I can't be proud to be white. He's like, I can't post that I'm a proud white person without being immediately called racist. I can't tell people that I'm proud to be white. No, go ahead.
Keep going.
So,
keep going.
He goes on this big rant and everything, right? And then right when he's about to say, like, kind of like the reason he wants to say it cuts to the creator, and they just move out of the way, and it's a green screen, and then behind him it's all like these old Facebook posts from this guy. Like, this person found this person on TikTok, found their Facebook, found their Instagram, and all it is them talking about how put some pieces together, very racist.
Oh yeah,
very racist. Like, yeah, and being like, I want to post that I'm proud to be white, but you're the most racist person with your post. Like, you're not, it's not that you can, look, I don't think you should post that you're proud to be white, period.
Yeah.
Because I personally don't feel like you have a reason to be proud of that.
Yeah.
However, I will, and I'm talking about America, so if you're overseas, it's different, whatever.
Yeah.
My point is that, like, you could post that if you were somebody to be known as an ally and, like, not a racist piece of shit and, like, very open and welcoming. But if you're wanting to post that stuff because you feel a certain way and have a certain set of beliefs, then like you are in the wrong. Yeah. And you shouldn't be proud. Yeah. And I hope you get hit by a train. Yeah. Lose a leg.
Yeah. I mean, just, letting that thought marinate too. Like, I don't think I'd ever post that I'm proud that I'm white. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Like, I'm proud to be Kevin. I'm proud to be from the family that I'm from. I'm proud of my parents. I'm proud of my siblings. I'm proud of myself. Right. Like, there's so many things that I'm proud of that are component pieces of who I am.
Like your achievements.
But I wouldn't necessarily go out and be like, I'm proud of my skin tone. Right.
It's a weird thing to be proud of.
And I think the point that a lot of people who wish that they first off, let's say that a lot of them, it turns out, are racist. But I think a lot of people are missing the point that, like, it's not that you can't be proud that you're white. It's that I think a lot of people who are proud that they're part of another culture are proud of that culture because of how much progress has been made in the past century for them and by them, for them and by them, right? And it's not like we've come a long way with human rights, and this is why you and I are saying we care so much about a candidate. And like, yeah, this is a good way to wrap a bow on this. Like, it's not that you can't be proud that you're white. It's that you should be proud of all the component things that make you you, but you give credence where credence is due, and give way where way is due. Like, people who are from other nationalities whose families have had a harder time in the past century should be proud of where they've come and how far they've come, right? Like, you were just talking about Boulder. Yeah. Right. If you're an entitled, privileged white kid and you don't want to recognize that, but you want to be proud that you're white, I'm sorry, you're in the wrong. Yeah. Like, you have to recognize, like, be grateful that you are who you are, where you are, and then use that to be a good ally, right? That's good enough in my book. Like, you don't have to, there's no way. And then, like, you get into the question, like, well, what is white? Because there's so many.
Well, that's why I said in
different,
America. Yeah. Because you get over there, like, technically, France, your favorite country, they're mostly white.
But I look at other countries that are mostly, like, predominantly lighter skinned as well, like Czechoslovakia, Russia. Like, there's so many places where, like, lighter skin is still a thing, And so for them, what they're really saying is, I'm mad that I can't be proud. I'm mad that I don't get the thing that this other group gets. That's what they're really mad at. Exactly. They're not getting the treatment that they wish they got. Yeah. But it's not like a treatment that they're due. They're not owed it or anything,
This is the way I look at it. And my final thought is, okay, so I'm talking about America here. Yeah. Like, I want to make sure I keep this very enclosed to America. Okay. This is a country where a bunch of people from Britain came over because they were too extreme in their religious views.
And Italy and Spain.
Contrary to textbook beliefs, the people that came over here to settle America were not escaping religious persecution. They were too extreme for the religious persecution.
The colonial wasps.
They came over here, and obviously this is a land that we discovered of people already living here. Yeah. And then we wiped out those people that were living here that had a different skin color. Yeah. And now we're at a point in American history, in my opinion, where it's like, well, I'm proud to be American. What does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean?
And I'm not saying, like, look, 4th of July just happened. We talked about it. I'm not saying that you can't be proud to be a part of a country. Yeah. That's fine to a certain degree. Yeah. But my point is, you being white does not come from America. Yeah. Like, America is not a country that is founded by, that like has deep-suited roots in, Anglo-Saxon, like, European, like, that is where the skin color of white people come from. It comes from Europe because we came over here. Yeah. We are a new country, new nation compared to...
Still 200 years old.
Yeah. Like, we're fairly in our infancy compared to other regimes that have, like Russia, great example, like, mostly predominantly white, but tons and tons of history. So when... in America, when people say, I'm proud to be white, and maybe this is not necessarily true for everybody, but growing up in the South, what that means is, oh, I'm proud that I was a part of the Confederacy. That is where a lot of it, in my opinion, comes from. Yeah. And where it gets annoying is, like, people like this being like, well, I can't say I'm proud to be white, but this person can say that they're proud to be Filipino, right? Well, yes, because statistically, Filipino people have not had the same, like, treatment and rights that white people have had in America. So when they end up being somewhat on an even playing field, which they're still not, they are proud of that because they've come a long way in a country where they weren't the golden poster child of what it is to be American. Yes. So that's different. Yeah. So like, yeah, they can say they're proud to be that because in America they should be. You have no reason to be in America because you've never had it hard.
It's not that living in America isn't hard for me, but I do recognize where and when there are less obstacles for me. You know? Yeah.
And I think of a great example of this. So I know we said bow twice already.
Hit it. Tie that bow. No, we're still tying it.
We're still tying it.
It's a double knot.
We got that
it's a double
draw.
knot. It's a double knot. Yeah.
So
loop, swoop.
I messed up. I gotta restart.
We looping and swooping over here.
My company, our call center is contracted through some people in the Philippines.
Okay.
They're 5 girls, the fucking best. These are the nicest.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, Philippines, 95% of them, adult literacy, English is one of their primary languages. They take they're very proud of their education system of their 95% adult literacy is crazy. That's more than America.
Yeah.
These girls are great, right? They still have a little bit of that accent, but they're fantastic. And the amount of complaints that my department ends up getting of people being like, oh, you're using foreigners to do your call center. It's like, yeah. And you being mad at them, guess what? Now with 103 degrees on a Friday and you need your AC fixed, guess who's not getting your AC fixed, you fucking twat?
For everybody who, here's, let's finish the bow. Let's finish the bow on this. For everybody that's ever getting mad about foreigners anymore, just be ready for AI to take your jobs.
The ultimate form.
When that happens and the artificial intelligence,
Who are you gonna yell at? Elon?
Are you gonna go get mad at fucking Silicon Valley now? Yeah, all right, got it. Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, because that exists in the USA, baby. You want to be USA proud? Silicon Valley, baby. It's coming for you. All right, what is your jam, sir? Let's go float.
I don't know what my jam
Lucky
is.
Day. You've been jamming Lucky Day.
Okay, I would say that definitely. Last week you mentioned Lucky Day, and I missed it. Oh my god, I mentioned Chapel Roan.
Yep.
And I gave Lucky Day a shot. I would say after listening to all 3 of the albums, I listened to Painted, Algorithm, and what's the other one? I don't know. It's not on here. Great, phenomenal. I loved him.
Oh, yeah.
Painted was fantastic. Late Night is a jam above jams.
Told you.
Not that I usually like to double up, but I would say that I think Lucky Day works really well. I was telling you, I've listened to him in the background and I've listened to him at like the front. Like I've paid attention and I've had him just in the background. I think he works really well. I listen to him at work. I listen to him in the car. I listen to him when I'm editing. He's just got that sound that whether you're paying attention or not, like, it's great.
Yeah. My jam this week. Oh my God. I just saw Idola on Sunday, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Wow. It has been a week.
You had that dinner.
My jam this week is Idola. I'm so proud. And we've been messaging each other a little bit this week. I'm so proud of Andrew and how far like he's come. I'm so proud of that whole band. Like Sergio, their new bass player and their new guitar player are sick. Matt Dahmer. I think it's Dahmer, not Dahmer, but Dahmer. But Sergio Medina, Andrew Michael Wells, Matt Dahmer, and their drummer I think was sick. They had a sit-in drummer for the tour, for at least this leg of the tour. But their drummer's from Alaska. He's awesome too. They've come so far and they've done so much. And honestly, this album's just a testament to all the work they put in over the course of what is the majority of a decade at this point. I think it is a decade. And then they're going to release one more album for the narrative portion of Idola. So seeing them this past weekend was amazing. Seeing the crowd, like my boss came out with me and he was such a he had the time of his life. Like
awesome.
What was really great. What's a testament to a really awesome band is everybody who went to this concert, Alyssa, Bryce, Travis, Joe, myself, and Andrew, we all had dinner beforehand, like had a great time. Even the security guards are happy there. We're up in the balcony watching the crowd like just go wild for Royal Coda and Idola. Sergio Medina played 2 sets. Like it was so good. Like I can't help but make that my jam this week. My jam is just Idola and Royal Coda. Like just fucking banger. Like great people, great vibes, great times. Yeah. That's it. That can only be my jam.
Okay, you know what? I have another jam.
Yeah.
Because not to just piggyback off Lucky Day.
Hit it up.
I'm going to be talking about this on my channel. What a surprise. But I watched Twister for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
And listen, if you haven't seen
Twister.
That's
very American.
Very. Oklahoma, 8 Twisters in one day.
Woo!
Which is wild because it's not. I love how over exaggerated the amount of tornadoes
great,
in Oklahoma are.
It's great.
It's fantastic. Look, I love disaster movies. I've talked to you about this plenty, but if you want a movie that, for one, is stupid, like the plot of Twister is stupid. They want to send sensors up into a tornado so that ultimately they can create better warning systems. That's the whole plot.
Yeah, it's
like
great.
Cool. Tornadoes are random. You can't really predict them.
Yeah.
Not really. Like, but anyways, I'm not a scientist. What I loved about Twister, for one, Bill Paxton, legend. Some of the best characters have come to life because of Bill Paxton. But everybody in this movie for supporting cast in disaster films, especially having watched a ton this month, a lot of the side characters in most of these movies just feel like somebody was like, oh, well, this person will make this joke and it'll be really funny, even though it doesn't fit. Everybody, especially Phil.
This is the nerdy tech guy.
Yeah, right? Like, everybody has this cliche.
This is the stalwart female.
Like San Andreas, there's a character that for no reason halfway through is just like, well, maybe we shouldn't listen to you, even though you've definitely saved our lives plenty of times.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like, but everybody in this, like, no matter what side character, which they all have very little screen time, whoever was on screen, fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, they felt like real people. They
it's a good
felt
movie.
like they were having a good time.
We watched that a ton when I was a kid.
It's awesome.
It's a good movie.
And compared to other disaster films that I've been watching, like Into the Storm, San Andreas, Geostorm, and a couple others, the destruction on this was so grounded, but also so exaggerated.
Yeah.
Like San Andreas, earthquakes hitting LA, everything's collapsing, you know, people are falling, things are exploding. Like Into the Storm, a tornado catches on fire. God. Like, holy shit. But like in this, like, tornado decimates a farmhouse, but like,
but that's it.
I've seen that happen.
It's the farmhouse,
but like, this is just a little bit more exaggerated.
Yeah.
It's just a good movie.
Yeah.
I don't believe a tornado could fully pick up a truck and drop it a mile away.
We're storm chasers.
But it's great.
Yeah, but twins could.
We got twins!
We got twins!
I cannot wait for that. I cannot stress enough how excited I am for Twisters. I have no reason to be.
Me too, actually.
But I am like,
I can't wait to see that.
I've watched that trailer for Twisters probably 5 times this month, and it's the 6th.
Do you guys get tornadoes in Denver?
No, but I grew up with them in Indiana.
Oh.
So I have a trifecta of natural disasters, which is why I think I like them.
Yeah.
Went through tornadoes in Indiana.
Okay.
Moved to Florida in 2004.
Got a hurricane.
Just in time for 4 hurricanes.
Oh, Katrina.
Charlie.
Ah.
So when I moved to Florida in 2004.
When was Katrina? 2003?
Katrina hit in 2006, but it
2006.
was New Orleans.
Okay.
So this was Central Florida, got hit by 4 hurricanes in 6 weeks.
Wow.
The strongest being almost a Cat 5. It died down just as it hit landfall.
Okay.
So I went through tornadoes. I went through 4 tornadoes in one day in Indiana. I went through 4 tornadoes in 6 weeks in Florida.
Oh, 4 hurricanes.
Then I went through an earthquake in California when I was stationed there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got all 3.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So,
interesting.
Yeah.
Here's a funny little bit. We got an earthquake in Jersey not long ago in the Northeast. And it was really funny. I was walking with someone in the office and she like stopped and she goes, did you feel the building shake? And I was like, no. I was like, no. And I just kept going. And then like half an hour later, everybody was like, did you feel that earthquake? I was like, no. No, I did not. I mean, people felt it. I just did
That
not.
happened in Salt Lake when I lived out there.
That's weird.
I was in the apartment with Goose, and I was in the front room. They were in the bedroom, and they came out to like, did you feel that? And I was like,
no.
What are you talking about? So I guess I went through 2 earthquakes technically.
Wow.
But yeah.
Cool. And then you're doing Disaster Month.
It's on right now.
It's on right now?
The first video came out today as of recording.
On Magnum Nopus.
Magnum Nopus.
Our channel that we love so much.
My teaser trailer.
Your teaser trailer.
Yeah.
I love your teaser trailer.
Yeah, me too.
That was good.
Good times.
That was definitely solid.
I love Disaster Month. I'm super excited. If you like disaster movies, if there's some that you're like, I never want to watch them, but I want to see somebody make fun of them, come on down. I got you covered this month.
You know it's going to be a potential disaster? Me wearing a Speedo to go float right now.
Oh, God.
Let's do it!